All right, so we've learned how to exploit the PayPal vulnerability and how to get products for just a penny. We know that Udemy is doing it correctly and that we cannot hack the Udemy system. Good for them. But this lecture is about ethics. Is it right to do this? Well, I think it depends on how you go about doing it. If you're going to blackmail someone, obviously not. And I'm not condoning that at all. I'm not saying that you should ever do that. That is definitely something you want to stay away from, and it can actually get you in a lot of trouble. So avoid, blackmailing. Avoid being rude, being mean, because you don't need any of that in your life anyways. Now, I also want to bring up a movie, a fairly new-ish movie, I guess, The Wolf of Wall Street. It's a story about Jordan Belfort, who sold penny stocks on Wall Street and made millions and millions of dollars. What he was doing was technically illegal, but there is another side to this. So although he got caught and he owes a lot of money in fines and fees and whatnot, he is able to use the skills that he has, which is selling, which if you're in sales, the SLS system is an amazing system. He can use his power of selling virtually anything on this planet to almost anyone. And he used it very poorly at the beginning of this movie. Now, at the end of this movie, it kind of shows him rehabilitating himself, doing the right thing. Now he goes on seminars, he teaches people how to sell, and he's making money in a very honest and legitimate way. The point that I'm getting at is that you don't need to be a black hat hacker. I think it's important for a lot of people to know how to hack and exploit systems and understand systems, but I strongly believe that you do not need to be hacking people to get what you want. There are other ways to do it. Friendlier ways, ways that actually help build your life instead of destroy your life. Another great example is that movie, Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio. Great movie. Leonardo is basically a fraudster. He creates fake checks, and he gets really, really good at it. Now, spoilers, if you haven't seen this movie, I would suggest skipping over the next minute or two, and I'll let you do that now. But in Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo DiCaprio eventually gets caught. And when he does get caught, he goes to jail for a little bit. Until the FBI finds out that, hey, we've got this check, we can't figure out how this guy is doing it. We need a professional that gave us a really hard time to get in to this guy's mind, to figure out how he's doing it. And once they realized that Leonardo DiCaprio was able to do that, he was that guy, they let him out of jail with a lot of restrictions, but nonetheless they let him out of jail. And then he went to work for the FBI. Now the difference is, a guy with that kind of skill could have just started working for the FBI very early in his life anyways. He didn't have to go to jail. He didn't have to hide from the government or multiple governments, from Interpol for years and years and years. He could have used what he learned to actually help the FBI and make a lot of money doing that. That same concept applies here. You're learning how to exploit a system. You're learning how to hack systems, programs, computers. Whatever it is you're learning to hack outside of this course, use it for the better. There are jobs and companies out there that will pay you a lot of money for knowledge that you can gain as an ethical hacker. You can get your certified ethical hacker certification. But I suppose the entire point of this lecture is really do the right thing. Now, I know that sounds really, really cheesy, and you hear this a lot through your life. Do the right thing, do the right thing. But in this case, especially with internet regulation and protection against internet businesses, especially with the copyright thing kind of on fire in the last 5 years or so, you don't want to get in trouble on the internet. Not only that, but it's very easy for other people to find you on the internet. And once you have a reputation on the internet, it's really hard for you to remove that negative connotation associated with your name. But if you do the right thing, you teach other people how to do what you're doing. You teach other people how to patch these vulnerabilities. You teach other people how to find these vulnerabilities and teach them how to fix them in a polite manner that's not damaging to them or their business or their reputation. And the same for you. You got to protect yourself. Make sure it's not damaging you or your reputation, your name, your friends, your family. That list goes on as well. But overall, Just because you can does not mean you should. Always find an alternative, find a better way to do it, find something that's constructive. A good rule of thumb here is if you're hacking into something and it is destructive to you or the other party, you're doing something wrong. So make sure everything you're doing is always very constructive, it's always healthy for you and the other party. And again, I know this sounds really cheesy, and it's been said probably one too many times in your life, but I'm going to say it again. Do the right thing.